One of the biggest bugbears of buyers out there at the moment, which is, hey, why is everything going to auction and why is everything marketed without a price? We find it frustrating. John, tell us what the story is. The view that we take of no price marketing or auction marketing is that, hey look, the vendor only gets to sell their property once. They get one shot at getting it right. They get one shot at maximising their dollar, and once their property is sold, well, they've got to get out there with a net figure and go out there and put their buyer's hat on and get out there and compete. So once that asset is sold, they're left with a finite amount of money, and I guess they need to maximise that in order to be able to make their next step. In the interests of keeping it real and being straight up in true custom residential fashion, I don't want buyers to shoot me here or trip me up when I'm walking down the street, but here's an overview. Basically, a vendor obviously gets to sell their home once, and that's a finite result, and they get to move on. Now, purchasers, if they do miss out, as disappointed as they may be, they do live to fight another day. Remembering that the internet still rolls on, new listings come through every day, the Herald will come out on Saturday morning, and there's all sorts of new opportunities for purchasers. So basically they can come in and continue their search, but a seller, once that sold sticker goes up, that's it in terms of that result for them. Now on top of that, one thing I can say from the coalface is that sometimes, and again please don't shoot me here purchasers, but sometimes it's a key thing to miss out on a few properties at auction or miss out through a process because it helps your research process, and it also helps you establish in what streets, what type of houses are actually getting what kind of money. So it can be a really valuable research tool so that when the next property comes up, you can absolutely pounce and pounce at the right level. So I can hear you all saying, okay, well that's all great, John, why don't we just put a high price on it? Or let's just get a price on it and let's just make it so that we'd be happy with that figure. Okay, the only problem is what's the price? Pricing is a historical science, and it goes basically based on what's happened in the past. We currently appear to be in what is a rising market, and very dangerous for a seller to put a price on it. If you go too low, obviously there's going to be some ramifications there, and we all know what's going to happen there. If you go too high, you may think, hey, well people will still come. Well, they actually don't. This is a time poor environment that we're working in at the moment. Our buyers are professionals, business owners, hugely savvy and very au fait with the internet, and look, if they find that something's too rich or just way out of the zone, they just won't even come and view that property. One thing we're very conscious of is the purchasers who do miss out on properties, and obviously there's disappointment there, and a lot of them we've worked with to try and get them as close as possible or get them to own the property, and we've worked with some of these people for many months now. We do accept and we do know that there is building inspection costs, valuation costs, also the emotional time of being awake at night imagining, am I going to own that property tomorrow? So there's a huge toll on purchasers, and it's tough around here because it is a highly competitive buying market. And I just want you guys to know that we are hugely cognizant of that, and it's something that does play on our mind throughout the process. What can we do to help? Well, make sure that you're asking for very recent sales stats from open homes that you go to. This is really important. Ask the agent for some accurate feedback as to where the feedback has been throughout the open homes. If there has been 2 weekends of open homes, ask, I see that it's been on the market for 2 weeks, have you got some sort of feedback as to where this property may sit? The other thing is to spend your time getting ready for the auction. Okay, make sure that you're very comfortable with the structure of the building, with the neighbours, the things that are happening around the property, so you can use that time to be sure that when you do make a play for this property, that it is going to be the one that you actually want. The other little tip I can give you is, hey look, let's have 2 properties on the target list, not just 1. And I know you may laugh and just say, well, I'd love to have 3 on the target list, they're just not out there. I guarantee that over the next couple of months there will be a handful of properties that you can target. Another thing we hear is, look, there's massive crowds turning up to these auctions, and yes, we have had some big crowds turning up to our on-site auctions, but please remember that there's only a very small percentage of that group who are actually going to bid and try and own that property. A lot of them are friends of the owners, a lot of them are neighbours, a lot of them are researching the market, and again the small percentage will be the ones who are actually seriously going to have a go at this property. So don't worry about the crowd, just worry about what you're there to try and achieve. Well, thank you for your time. That was my best attempt at tackling the rather thorny issue of no price marketing. I hope that's helped. Because in all honesty, I don't think auctions and no price marketing are going to go away anytime soon. So hopefully that's been of assistance to you, and look, please feel free to give myself or any one of the custom residential team a phone call or an email if you've got questions that are specific to your circumstances. Please feel free to contact us, it's our job to help.